as we look at the Carolinas themselves, you do have regulation. And regulation isn't necessarily itself bad. We have to have regulation to a certain degree. So I think what we need to do, though, is look at it, measure it, and really see how some of that is working. When it can take years to get projects permitted, frankly, that's too long. When you have too many irons in the fire, and you have to get too many different approvals, when you could have a number of those running concurrently, it's not so much getting rid of regulation, it's how it's structured, how much of it can be concurrent, and how much of it can work with the view of this is going to be approved unless someone can come forward with some reasons that it shouldn't be. We need to turn it on its ear a little bit from where it is right now. The agility that we have in that space is going to be hugely important, because you were talking about tax policy earlier. That's an enormous issue. And for North Carolina, when we're competing not just against foreign companies or countries, but we're competing against Florida and Texas and Tennessee and others who have very little state income taxes, for example.
Correct.
We're going to have to find those compelling reasons for people to come here to create jobs that are really job generative. And that's going to be part of the great divide as we watch what's going to happen with AI and what's happening with manufacturing and how that rolls out in both North and South Carolina. But from the regulatory perspective, if we can make turning those businesses from dirt into a facility that much quicker, it's going to give us an enormous benefit in the state, not just for years, but for decades.
When you hear the Trump administration talk about immigration and is as aggressive as they've been about it, and they want to deport or whatever happens around immigration, does it cause you or any colleagues that you have concern about finding talent for not just some of your sites, but in general? Do you think the immigration challenge will make it harder in hiring?
I mean, let's put it this way. Labor is an issue today in the United States. There's no question about that. So it is a challenge. It's not going to be a challenge per se in our business. I think it could be a challenge in some of the downstream businesses. And what do I mean by that? If we're looking at infrastructure construction, if we're looking primarily at residential construction, we are strikingly underbuilt in portions of those in the United States today. I mean, think about this, Chris. We're about 7 million homes shy of what we need in the United States right here today. And obviously there are a number of reasons that are driving housing in that direction, higher interest rates being one of them. But as we see interest rates moderate, and we see the need that's already existing for that, because as we went through the great financial crisis, plenty of multifamily building, not enough single family. That single family pinch is something from a labor side that I think we can see and feel pretty notably.